nigga, that be the gang. Same nigga I used to be. Fried niggas get used to me. Damn man, if you fool with me, say that for your eulogy.
And another banger. What is going on, y'all? It's your boy VeLL, back with another Mobile Legends video, and this one is actually going to be a really good video because it's something that was actually inspired by my last video, my 5 broken abilities in Mobile Legends. And I got to, at one point in that video, I got to listing out a few Harith counters, and I was like, I have never actually thought about these Harith counters before. I've gone against Harith so many times, and every time I go against them, I never think about the heroes that counter him. Like, I use certain heroes sometimes, and I realize, oh, it's so easy to play against Harith. I've noticed that, of course, but I never just sat down and say, okay, these are all the heroes that can stop Harith, so when someone picks Harith, why not use these heroes? I've never done that before, and I'm assuming that a lot of you all have never done that either, so I thought that this would be a really cool video because a lot of us have never realized that these Harith counters existed. So that's what we're going to be talking about. But before we jump into that, as always, let's drop a thumbs up on this video. Let's try to get it to 1,000 likes. I would really appreciate that. Every time you all drop thumbs up on the video and show some support, YouTube basically shares it around the community a little bit more, and it helps the channel grow and all that. So you all basically control the success of the YouTuber, so I would definitely appreciate that. I thank you all so much for it, and also subscribe to the channel if you're new for more Mobile Legends content. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it because we have like a list of 10 heroes that I want to talk about. These are 10 counters for Harith. So coming fresh out the gate with it, Akai, because if you think about it, when Harith uses his ultimate, he has to stay within a certain range of that ultimate in order for it to be effective. But when you have Akai in there, and Akai is basically using his ultimate, you can basically make sure that Harith can't be anywhere near his little key. He has to be near that key in order to use his ultimate. But if every time Harith uses his ultimate, Akai uses his ultimate and just knocks everybody away from it, then what can they really do? That really kind of shuts down Harith, in my opinion. I think that Akai would be a really good counter for Harith, and he's one that I've never thought about. But also, I do watch a lot of the Indonesian pro scenes, and I watch them play sometimes, and I noticed that Akai is actually a big hero that they use a lot there. And it makes sense. It makes sense when you think about how much crowd control he has and how much he can push people where he wants them, push people away from the teammates and stuff like that. Because if you think about it, even when someone's trying to take Lord or take objectives and stuff, you can use Akai and push them away from that as well. So I think Akai can be very valuable, and he's definitely a big Harith counter in my opinion. But let me know what you all think about that. Have you ever realized that? And also in the comment section, let me know down below if you know any other Harith counters that maybe I might forget or I didn't put on this list. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on that. But next we have Chow. Chow is a really good Harith counter because basically, as you know, his ultimate kicks people. If you and Harith does not run Purify, by the way. Harith runs Retribution. That's basically the common thing that Harith runs because he's securing objectives and stuff all the time. So if you catch Harith and kick him off of his key every time he tries to use his ultimate, if you use Chow, run up and kick him off, then what? He basically wastes his ultimate every single time. As long as you have a Chow who can position well, get in there and just kick him away from the ultimate. Basically, their ultimates will cancel each other out every single time. Now, the tricky part comes in if there's a different hero that you have to focus with Chow, if there's somebody else who's a critical hero on the enemy team. But I don't know who could be more critical than Harith, to be completely honest. So yeah, Chow is another good counter for Harith. Next, we have Kacha. Kacha is a very good counter for Harith because same thing, even if he has Purify, using Purify on Kacha, it's very hard to time that at the right time where it's going to actually work. And also, yeah, and this is the one where I was I noticed that the games are really easy going against Harith when I use Kacha. because every time he uses ultimate, that's what I do instinctively. I instinctively look for the best opportunities to use my ultimate when I'm using Kacha. And for me, every time I go against Harith, it's in my natural nature to be like, okay, he's using his ultimate. If I grab him, he can't use it. So I've thought about that before when I've been using Kacha, but it just never dawned on me that there could be a lot more heroes that can counter him. So basically, when I use Kacha and I see Harith hit his ultimate, I grab him off of it. But the thing that really annoys me is that when I'll grab him off of it, my team will still be running away from Harith, so they don't secure the kill on him. I basically just grab him and slow him down. But I mean, by the time he gets back to his little key or whatever, it's basically gone anyway. So I mean, it's still pretty effective, but it does, like, even using a counter for a hero, your team has to basically know what they're doing at the same time. So yeah, Kacha. Next, we have Franco. Franco is another Harith counter, and you might be thinking, what, Franco? But yeah, you can, if you're a good hooker, that sounded so weird, but if you hook really well with Franco, then you could hook him off of the key. You could hook him off of the key, but even if you don't, you can flicker into his key and then grab him with your ultimate and hit him with your ultimate. Because as long as he's in your ultimate, he can't dash around and do a bunch of damage to people. So if you flicker in, grab him and hit him with your ultimate, and then everyone else comes in and attacks him at that exact same time, you all can burst him down and then focus on the rest of his team now that the biggest threat is out the way. So yeah, Franco can be really big, and it's knowing when to make decisions like that. I know a lot of times when you use flicker on Franco, you're trying to hook somebody, then flicker into a tower or flicker back or something like that. But at the same time, you can also position well, flicker into the middle of his ultimate and just grab him. So Franco's ultimate, and that's why Franco is in the meta right now. For a lot of people who don't know, you can do stuff like that. You can grab all these people who can come in diving and stuff. So Franco pretty much counters almost any diving hero. So next we have Saber. Saber is another one, but I don't think Saber is as strong of a counter as some of the other heroes on this list, but he is a counter. The second that Harith hits his ultimate, Saber can come up, grab him as well. Just as easily grab him as well. And you're gonna have to react, of course. Like, the rest of the team has to react immediately and try to dive him and finish him before he can get back to going across his key and hitting that second ability on you. But Saber literally does stop him for a few seconds. He can stop him for a few seconds. So in those few seconds, you have to make it count. But yeah, Saber, definitely a counter as well. Next, we have Nana. Now, Nana it's a weird one. Nana is a weird one because she can transform him. Like, if you think about it, anytime he uses ultimate, you throw that in there and transform him. But the reason that she's not as good of a counter as some of the other heroes on this list is because if the enemy team is smart, all they're going to do, or somebody's just going to go and jump in front of her little thing so they can take that hit instead of Harith. So that's basically all somebody has to do on the enemy team, is just be wise enough to stand in front of Harith so he doesn't get hit by that, and they can easily be countered. They can easily counter Nana countering him. So Nana isn't the greatest, but when he does use his ultimate, if you can hit him with that and it actually hits him, that stops him from using that ultimate for a few seconds as well. So you might be able to buy a second or two for his ultimate to go away. So Nana is a pretty decent one. Like I said, it's levels to how well certain heroes on this list counter them, but it's still a counter nonetheless. Next, we have Bane. Now, this was one that I literally just thought of. Last time, because I don't ever see anybody play Bane, so I would never think, oh, Bane could counter him. No, I don't think like that, because I never see him. But I did see someone playing, like someone played him against me like yesterday. And basically when I was there, he used his ultimate and it pushed me back. Like, it was just pushing me back. I couldn't move. And I'm like, what is going on right now? Because this is the first time that I ever got hit with Bane's new ultimate. And I didn't even know it did that. Like, you know, the shards come up and it pushes you back. Basically, when he uses his ultimate, Bane could literally push him away from it, or make it so he can't dash, because you definitely cannot dash and stuff while Bane's ultimate is going on. So that can buy you a few seconds. And Bane's ultimate lasts a good amount of time, honestly. It lasts a decent amount of time. So if Bane hits that ultimate at the right time, you might be able to ult long enough for his whole ultimate to be gone, for Harith's whole ultimate to be gone. So Bane is a decent counter, I think. Next, Minotaur. Minotaur is obviously an obvious one. Like if you can time it right and get your ultimate ready, when the second he puts that key out, if you like just flicker over there with Minotaur and hit your ultimate on it, knocking him up, that buys your team a little bit of time. It's not a huge counter because obviously Minotaur's ult isn't very long. It's only gonna buy you a few seconds, but within those few seconds, if you all target Harith and get him down, I mean that's game changing. So yeah, Minotaur. Next, Minceter. Minceter is obviously a big one because it stops people from being able to teleport. It stops people from being able to dash. So essentially, anytime he uses his ultimate, anytime Harith uses his ultimate, all Minceter has to do is literally go right in the middle of his ultimate and hit his ultimate. Literally just go right in the middle of his ultimate and hit his. And that pretty much counters it. That means whatever spot Harith ultimate in, if Minceter goes there and put his ultimate right in the middle, they can't dash in that area. So that's a pretty easy counter, and it's a hard counter. As long as you have your ultimate up every single time Harith ults, there's going to be nothing that he can really do. So that's going to shut down Harith completely. Now this one is older counter that we pretty much know, but Kufra. Kufra stops people from being able to dash. So when you're going into that bouncy ball mode, you can basically stop people from being able to dash and move around freely and stuff like that. Kufra is very hard to get around and get through and get past, and I think that it definitely applies when it comes to Harith as well. He's one of the counters that was popular for a while when it comes to going up against Harith. I think that depending on how good the Harith player is though, and how good the Kufra player is, Harith could still do some work even with Kufra there. But if the Kufra player is really good and has very good timing, very good positioning, yeah, Kufra can easily stop Harith. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. These are the 10 heroes that I feel like are some decent counters for Harith. Let me know if you've ever thought about these heroes. Let me know if you think that I'm missing somebody, or let me know if you think any of these heroes won't work, and let me know why you think that in the comment section down below. But hopefully you all enjoyed the video, find it helpful, insightful, or just made you think a little bit differently. Make sure you drop that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'm gonna catch you all on the next one, fam. Peace out, Joe.
I'm on it. Can't fail for my family, I want it. So they'll never need hope or want it. A break, just something that